I could still feel the coldness in my trembling body from fear. I could hear his words like every time whispering. But this time the whisper was clearer, and the words were terrifying. What he asked of me was a soul. He asked me for blood. But I don't remember anything except the rope with a wide loop at the end. I put my head in it and pushed the chair. The story of my life flashed before my eyes. Oxygen decreased with intense pain in my neck. I didn't feel myself until I fell to the ground. With white dust on my face and inside my mouth. When I opened my eyes, I found everything in chaos around me. But as soon as I focused, I understood. The ceiling didn't hold. A large part of it fell with the rope, and the rope itself was still tied around my neck. But even amid all that was happening, I felt it. The voice was still there. I heard him, whispering in anger, saying that this is not the way he wanted it. And if I did that again, he would kill me. But in a more hideous way, and with painful torment. I didn't understand what he wanted. I didn't understand the reason for what was happening, and why he appeared in my life so suddenly, just as he disappears suddenly as well. Maybe because I drifted away from God. Maybe because I stopped performing ablution and praying. I don't know. I truly don't know. I was even afraid to ask. But you don't know him. You don't know what he might do to my mind. What remains living inside it, still whispering. He was asking for the same request. A soul. Blood. So he asked for blood? Yes. That's why he rejected the deal. He rejected my death by hanging without blood. At that moment, I said I finally understood what he wanted, and I would do it for him. I will get a knife and slaughter myself. Yes, I have nothing left but suicide. But it's fine. My life has lost its meaning. My life has become like fog, and I am living inside it. This is since my mother's death and my separation from my wife. She is the reason. Iba, my ex-wife, is the reason for everything that happened. In the name of God and with his blessings, we begin the episode. In the name of God. This episode is a true story that actually happened. It is a new story from the series of listeners' experiences and tales. Your own tales. Let's start today's episode and say in the name of God. When Tarek told me what you just heard, I became more certain that he is ill and suffering from delusions in an advanced stage. And the reason is what he said with his own tongue. The reason was Hiba. From the information in front of me, I knew he divorced her and she remarried. And that, of course, was after her waiting period had ended. And this means one thing, clear as the sun, which is that she had everything planned and was waiting to leave to do what she wanted. Anyway, that's not our subject, and I'm not here to talk about the life of a woman divorced from a patient of mine. And not just any patient. This is a patient accused in an attempted murder case, and I am required to diagnose his condition in detail. This is before he is presented to the and they approve my assessment, whether he was truly insane or just faking it. And even though the case was as clear as day, I had to hear the story to the end. So how is your ex-wife the cause of this, Tarek? It's just that she got married. And whether the man she married knew or didn't know, what matters is that he found out and he won. And as long as I'm here, it means he won. He won, yes, but he is a loser because he doesn't know what exactly he summoned. His words are illogical, like many patients I've seen. But the difference between him and any of them is his manner and his coherent speech. And what did you summon, Tarek? Speak. I'm listening and waiting for what you have to say. Do you believe me? Of course I believe you. I'm not lying nor am I underestimating his intelligence. That he really isn't lying. Because a liar must be conscious and fully aware that he is lying. Or at least his mental state would allow for such a thing. Tarek's case was like many others, or that's what I thought before he finished speaking. He is telling me to talk, and I cannot refuse his request. Because if I did, you don't know what he might do. He could kill you, and he could kill me too, so why? Why should we die? That is why I will tell it. I will tell the story from the very beginning, from the moment my mother died. And he actually began to recount what happened in detail, as if it had happened yesterday, even though in reality, many months had passed, many months. My mother was so precious to me that when she died, my life fell apart. I became silent most of the time, and I couldn't even sit with anyone or even think. My own business closed after it started losing money. And the reason is that I neglected it, and I wasn't interested in it like before. What is life like without my mother anyway? A question I asked myself, and I found the answer after a lot of thought. Life without my mother is pitch black. It has no taste. And that is because she was the one who made the decisions. She used to tell me what to do, when, and how. And she was also the one who made me marry Hiba and be happy with her. She made me start a project I wouldn't have dared to dream of. And that project was the one that succeeded before the loss of her departure. Exactly as my marriage failed for the same reason. Hiba used to throw subtle hints at me, like how I was a mama's boy, even though she was living a life with me she couldn't have dreamed of. She wouldn't have been patient all these years with me. But as soon as the project failed, and I no longer had the money to cover her expenses, Hiba's behavior shifted and changed 180 degrees. She became irritable, and all the time she was huffing, until she reached her limit and finally spoke. She entered the room I hadn't left for a month after my mother's death. And after entering, she started to fight with me and raise her voice. And all I did was look at her with a blank face and calmness, neither speaking nor moving. And when I did move, I looked with my head toward my mother's picture hanging on the wall, and I said to her, "Did you see, Mother? Didn't I tell you she was greedy?" And here she finally spoke. I spoke after a month of not talking to anyone but myself or my mother. My mother, who was still living inside me and listening to me. As for Hiba, she was on a different planet, bringing up an old topic that had been closed for years, just to get a divorce. Let me tell you something. Stop with this atmosphere of sadness and spirituality you've been living in for a month and focus on me. I am a woman, Tarek. A woman with needs. And I think that's the least of the rights you should give me. At least after I found out that you can't have children. And I stayed silent. Not only silent, I said this is my husband and my love and I can't leave him, so hasten. Even though I knew a very good sheikh we could have gone to and roughly I don't have solved the problem. But when Mother Kothar said it was forbidden and blasphemous, he refused. Well, may God forgive her, you were under her thumb and wouldn't do anything without her command. An oppressive woman who hated me and wanted me to be nothing more than a tool for you. And if you think she loved you as much as you believe, you need to wake Tarek, you know, Tarek. Your mother loved you like any mother loves her son, maybe even less. Your mother just wanted her expenses and her daily needs covered. She wanted to plan your life so that she could live comfortably too. In short, you were just a means to an end. Tarek? Wake up, Tarek. Were you a fool, my dear, or just blind? Why? You've been naive your whole life. Naive and pathetic. But, oh well, she's gone now. And it looks like you're following her with what you're doing to yourself. Listen to me now. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at your spirit and be sure that your face is gone and your body is gone. But, you know, I don't care about all that. I want a divorce, Tarek. If you're a man, divorce me. Because no man will live with a woman who hates him. And I hate you. And I hate every night I spend with you. I hate your mother and the hook she used to reel me in to marry you. I can't stand to look at your face. And even if I looked and accepted it, we have no child to justify my life with you. I looked at her after she fell silent, waiting for me to respond to her words. But back then I didn't reply and just smiled. And all I did was continue to look at her for a few seconds before I went back to looking at the corner of the room. And after that, I said, "You're right, Mom. It's not just greed. She must die. What do you want? She deserves it. She deserves everything that happens to her." At that moment, Heba fell to the floor. She fell hard, making her scream in pain. She begged me to call an ambulance, but I didn't give her any attention. All I was interested in was my mother, who had disappeared from the room, and in her place appeared a strange creature. A black-colored creature with eyes red like burning embers. And this creature said to me, in a voice very close to my mother's, "Divorce her. Divorce her just as he asked me to. And in return, I have granted you what you want and desire." Yes, I went silent. It wasn't the first time I had seen him. I had seen him many times, and I was never afraid of him. After my mother's death, and after everything lost its taste, his appearance about 2 weeks later made me hold on more to my existence inside the room where she used to live among us. For this entity, which later became the voice of whispers, was able to grant me the thing I wished for most, along with many other wishes, which was for me to see my mother. As for my wife, her screaming was so loud, it made the neighbors gather and pound on the door. And before they could break it down, so that a bomb of questions would explode in my face. And the answer to all those questions was one response: go in and ask her. And they actually went and found her swimming in her blood. At that moment, they accused me of being the one who did that to her. Here, they forgot the victim and clung to the perpetrator. All humans want to catch the criminal. Catching him would be a medal on their chest for the rest of their lives. But saving the actual victim is not important. Or maybe it wouldn't be exciting enough for the story they'd tell their grandchildren later. Anyway, I won't dwell on this point too much, because I am not a criminal, nor is she a victim. And if she were, she would be the criminal and the victim, meaning both at the same time. For after the police arrived before the ambulance that always arrives late, they arrested me and started an investigation. And at that time, I told them everything that happened in detail. And of course, the major who was interrogating me didn't believe a word of what I said. And not only that, he accused me of faking insanity and acting it out perfectly. And because he believed his own words so strongly and was convinced by them, he tried to pressure me. He wanted to record my confession and be done with the whole case as quickly as possible. Even though it would have been better for him to wait for Heba to wake up and tell everything that happened in detail. I didn't tell you. Heba didn't die. All that happened was that she had, severe internal bleeding, which removed her uterus. And that means Heba won't be pregnant again. And when I say again to you, don't be surprised. Heba was pregnant, but not by me. Anyway, after interrogations that lasted for a long time, the major didn't get a single piece of information out of me. Even though, I could have confessed to something I didn't do and relieved myself of the pressure. I could have handed them my mind for them to do whatever they wanted with it. But the voice of the whispers refused. And this happened when I heard it the moment it felt I was finally about to give up. I am with you, Tarek. I am inside, and you allowed me to enter. Continue, Tarek. Continue. Here I felt that my mother's death was the death of the body, not the soul. I felt that she was with me, protecting me, guiding me on what to do, and pointing me toward the path, just as she did her whole life with me. That is why I believed and endured. And I followed the voice just as I followed my mother for years. And what made me trust it more and more and believe that it truly was my mother is what happened. This is what happened when Heba woke up and the police interrogated her. Heba confessed to what happened. She said that I was far from her when she fell down on her own without anyone touching her. Of course, the major didn't believe it and remained convinced that I was the cause, especially since the doctor overseeing her case confirmed that someone had done it intentionally. But it was all for nothing in the face of Heba's statements, the cause of which you and I, Doctor, already know. The cause is the voice and its owner, or as I've called it since that day, my mother's voice. After it set me free, my mother's voice whispered in my ear, asking me to go see Heba at the hospital. Without thinking, I followed her words and went. As soon as I arrived and opened the door, Heba sat up on the bed. She pressed her lips together in fear. She cowered in her spot, terrified. And all the while she remained silent, afraid, unable to speak or utter a word. That's when the strange voice of my mother whispered again, breaking the silence. Divorce her, Tarek. She has understood and received her punishment. As soon as the voice stopped, I spoke and divorced her 3 times. Then left the room quietly while Heba watched me from afar, waiting for me to leave so she could breathe. Or that's what I thought, because as soon as I walked out, I saw a man entering to see her. I was surprised because Heba has no family, and the man's face didn't seem strange to me. I thought that I had seen him somewhere before, but after a long time thinking, I couldn't recall where. And here the voice had its turn. My mother's voice whispered in my ear again with one word that kept repeating. The dream. The dream. The dream. And as time passed, the voice kept growing stronger, as if it were confirming and reminding me of something that happened. And what happened was that I had a dream I couldn't remember. And stranger still, I remembered it just now. In that moment, I was in a dark apartment, and this strange man was sitting in a room, and in front of him was incense. He was holding a paper in his hand, and writing on it words I didn't understand. But his eyes, filled with evil as he wrote, confirmed that what he was doing was not good. And what confirmed it even more was Heba. Heba, when she walked into him and he hugged her, then gave her the paper and whispered in her ear. At that moment, Heba was afraid, but she took it in the end, and that was after he reassured her. In that moment, a specter appeared behind them. This specter was the one I saw when I first heard my mother's voice. He was standing there, looking angry. I understood from his gaze that he didn't like what was happening. But unfortunately, he didn't show me what happened with Heba and the man after that. The dream ended, and I woke up. And the terrifying thing is that I had remembered it, and even more terrifying is that I remembered it now at this very moment. Not to mention that I also remembered the choking fit I had the moment I woke up drenched in sweat. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw the specter in front of me saying,
Heba is pregnant, but not by you. Heba is pregnant by Mansour the sorcerer.
I couldn't believe my eyes or believe what I was seeing. I felt like I was in a dream and would wake up from it. But he continued his words and told me, everything happening is real.
Dreams are an illusion you've trapped yourself in. Heba doesn't love you, and she never did. Even your mother exploited you. She lived a life only she was happy with.
As if he were reading my thoughts, he replied with words that hurt me and made me forget who I was talking to, causing me to snap back in anger. Listen, whoever you are, it doesn't matter. My mother loved me and chose what was right and reasonable for me.
No one chooses what is right for another. If you follow your own head, you'll lose everything, but if you leave your mind to me and hand it over, I'll help you get justice from everyone who wronged you.
Who are these people who wronged me? My mother died.
But you are alive, and they want to harm you.
Who are they?
Your wife and her lover, the charlatan.
Why?
Do you still not understand?
I didn't wake up from all of this until the news of my wife's pregnancy. And that was when I surrendered my mind to him without realizing it. At that moment, I forgot everything. I forgot the recent past. I forgot how I spent all those days in my room without eating or even drinking. Maybe I was drinking. Maybe I was eating. But I don't remember. I don't remember anything at all. And from that time on, I couldn't bear his presence inside my mind. Should I tell you? I asked him to leave, but he refused. He refused and told me I handed it over of my own free will. And it all had a price. From his examination of my wife, to him being the cause of her accident. And not just that. He even told me he could be the cause of her death if I wanted. But there is something inside me stopping me. There is something inside me saying this isn't me. That's why I tried to get him out, Doctor. I tried to return to how I was, but the price was very high. The price was life and blood. And here I fell before a very difficult choice, which is that I must kill someone. It must be life and blood. And of course I couldn't, and I couldn't stand his presence inside my mind. I couldn't stand his control over everything. I would remember and forget so many things at his command. Maybe these are all delusions. Maybe he's the one who wants to paint this picture for me. But what is certain is that he won't leave me until he gets what's in my mind. Tarek went silent and stopped talking at this point. After that, he kept looking next to me, as if someone was standing there. And I understood from his looks that it was auditory and visual hallucinations that come to a person in this state. Especially since he said to me at that moment, no, not him. I don't want to remember anything. I won't kill him. He's innocent. What is it, Tarek? Tell me what you're seeing. He didn't pay attention to my question and continued his story. But this time, briefly, in a rush, as if he wanted to leave, or saying against his will, I mean. And that was clear from his words, as he said, Heba married the charlatan after the waiting period months. He married her and then divorced her. Like many, many women, he did that too. This charlatan's name is Mansour, and he put a spell on me so I would stay away from her and he could marry her instead. He didn't know that he had conjured something huge. That thing cannot harm him, but it is serving me now in a way I don't want. He wants me to kill you, Doctor. I know what he wants. He wants a lot of blood. He wants to be strong. He won't leave me, Doctor. He won't leave me. But wait. I just remembered my dream. I remembered the knife I took from the nurse's desk without him noticing. I have that knife with me now. They aren't doing their jobs. They are even cooking during work hours. You should punish them, Doctor. Punish the nurse who will be the cause of your death. As he said this, he pulled a knife from behind his back. At that moment, I got up from my chair, terrified. My tongue was tied and I couldn't speak. I couldn't even call for help. As for Tarek, he was approaching me with hesitant, slow steps. He was fighting himself. He didn't want to kill me. And I saw all of that in his eyes before he spoke to himself and said, How are you able to do this? I won't kill him. He must live. He must continue his life. And if someone has to die, it's you. You are the one who must die. He continued speaking to me afterwards, saying, I agreed to kill Heba in exchange for him leaving me alone. She is the one who did this to me. Her love for the charlatan led us to all of this. But the voice of the whisper was stronger and planned everything. The charlatan managed to protect Heba before I killed her, so that from that incident I would end up here for you. He needs your brain. He needs your soul. He is doing something I don't understand. You must die, Doctor. At that moment, the room door opened and many nurses entered, trying to stop Tarek, but they couldn't. His strength was like that of 20 men. He literally didn't calm down or stop, and he didn't even leave them until one of them died under his hands. Then he calmed down, looked at me, and said, If you think the story is over, you're wrong. Your turn is coming. He was speaking coldly, as if he were a different person from the one I was just talking to. I felt he was hungry and now satisfied. But one who is satisfied will eventually be hungry again. And up to here, let me say that this case is not normal. Just like many cases locked up in many asylums. And among those cases is Tarek. I know you don't grasp it, but there really are many such cases. There are cases like this that exist. And the most dangerous part is that they are around you now. They might even be listening to the story with you. Magic is terrifying, and its side effects are frightening. Especially when it spirals out of control. But what happened to Tarek? Was it due to the effect of magic? Or a mental illness caused by the death of his mother, who he saw as his everything? I'm waiting for your opinion. And thus concludes today's episode and today's story. You have the right, my friend, to believe or disbelieve all or part of the episode. For these are the experiences of the listeners. I thank the writer Andrew L. Sharif for writing the episode in the creative way you just heard. I also thank the writer Muhammad Shaban for preparing all the episodes of the General Horror program. In the end, I thank you very much. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive all our latest updates. And if you're one of those who would like to support me, please don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thank you very much. This has been Mohammed Gwaili with the General of Horror program. Goodbye.